issue with the rights is you're not letting your arms, your right elbow needs to drop back in front of your right hip here. So you're spinning your lower body, and your lower body's in front of your upper body too much. If we look at a tour player and we look at the sequencing of things, let's take Molinari for example. If we look at halfway down, his right arm gets back in front of his body. See how his right elbow is in front of his body? Mm-hmm. See how you're way out in front of it with your lower half? That's why you're pushing the ball to the right. So your lower body is moving too quickly laterally. Right here, see how way out in front there you are. You got to let your arms drop from the top. Watch how his arms, he's going to move it. He's going to initialize the downswing with his lower half, but then he lets his arms drop back in front. See how the right elbow gets in front of the right hip? Mm-hmm. So when his hands are just below hip high, his right elbow's in front of his right hip. But see, that's not happening with you. You're getting way out in front of it with your hips.
Yeah.
So you got to slow that lower half down a little bit. Mm-hmm. And try to get your arms back in front of your body. Let your right elbow come in front, right. And see, look, Chapman, you've got a lot of lateral slide here. Mm-hmm. See how your left leg is sort of collapsed here. Watch how when he gets in the hitting zone, his left leg is going to start to brace. See how it doesn't move forward much. And it starts to post up and straighten. See how his left leg is straightening there?
Yeah.
So your left leg never does post up there, see? So there's a little bit of collapse in the arms at the top. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see a much more solid looking position at the top with the hands, pushing out away from the right shoulder, getting the hands away from the right shoulder, a little more width, keeping the right arm not so much behind you. No, not behind you, more in front of you. So here, not way back there. So I like to see the hands further away from the chest, the right arm at a right angle at the top. Yeah. A little shorter. So your right arm gets too far behind your right hip. Your right arm sort of collapses. So the best players in the world at the top, the right arm is more, look where his right elbow is. Okay? So if we draw a line from the right elbow, it's just slightly behind the right hip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sorry, behind the right shoe, the right heel. So what we have to do is get this right arm to stay more in front of us, not get it way behind us. And then what will happen is the club will come down on the shoulder plane. He's a shoulder plane guy. See how the club comes right down just below the shoulder? That's Langer. So look, it's shorter parallel, Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. Keeping the club a little more under control at the top. We get this little arm runoff here. The arms get too far behind you. Your swings just got a little too flat.
Yeah.
You sort of went the other direction. You sort of went from
tends to happen.
Way upright to flat. So, take a look at where his hands are. His hands are above his head. And his hands, if we looked at in relationship to his right heel, his hands don't get way back here, right? They don't get way behind him. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All right, so let's take a look at where your hands are at the top of your swing.